Hello, welcome to another Rotterdam White Scar video. Today I'll be showing you how to paint stakes to make these defensive obstacles as lively as possible. They are from the Kickstarter Exclusive terrain set for the Song of Ice and Fire miniature game, but can be these techniques can be used for any other manufacturer out there. I'll be showing you how I did it and how I can help you improve with some simple techniques. Well, let's get started. So this will be your final result, guys. The flocking is all up to you. This is a more summery vibe, but that's all optional. So what I did, I first primed the model with a Grey Sear primer from Games Workshop, and then I based the model with some Stirland mud and some Nuln oil, and I did the base with the base rim with some Steel Legion drab. And I will be using three Citadel contrast colors: Wildwood, Snakebite Leather and Skeleton Horde, to start off with the wooden parts. What I wanted to do is give the feeling that this is a temporary defensive obstacle, so the wood isn't being treated or something, so it's slightly touched by nature at the parts that stick into the ground. Maybe mud splat on the bottom parts when it was raining, or when soldiers were walking past the muddy fields. So that's why I want to give the bottom parts a more worn look. And the best way to achieve this is to blend in the two contrast colors that will be used for the main parts, Wildwood and Snakebite Leather. So after applying your Wildwood base at the bottom of the stakes, just apply the Snakebite Leather and blend it in whilst it's still wet, because that's the best way to do it. As you can see, I also started on one part of the model, the front part or the back side, doesn't really matter. That's because I also had to paint the undersides of all the stakes, and that was quite tricky to get to. So what I did, I painted those up first, so if I accidentally touched any parts of the other side, then I could still repaint that with Grey Sear. Unfortunately that wasn't necessary, but please be careful, because one thing I learned with this model is that you have to keep on turning the model to see if you haven't forgotten any spots. So that will be my tip for today. Use every angle on this model, because it's gonna bite you in the end if you don't. The same trick works the other way around. So first applying a wet layer of Snakebite Leather and then the Wildwood, as long as you blend in with a clean or a semi-clean brush. Especially when you're using Wildwood as your secondary color, it's a lot darker than the Snakebite Leather and can be a bit confusing. So what you see here is I'm applying the last bits and really blending in in between the two colors, and whilst I'm blending, you sort of create a third color. A nice overlay, because it's wet and wet. And that's an easy way to create a little touch. And again, guys, this tutorial is made to make sure that it is easy to follow and easy and fast way to create your stakes the way I did. As you can see here, especially the top parts, there was a lot of turning involved. One thing I was really careful about was not touching the tips of the stakes, because I wanted to give the effect in the end that it was freshly chopped stakes, and those were made sharp with an axe or with a big sword or something. So I wanted to create a lighter inner feeling of the wood. Yeah, so a lot of twisting and turning to make sure I hit every spot there. Didn't really mind also painting the ropes, because we will finish that up in the end of this video. And as you can see, it already creates the effect of that we're looking for. So to touch up those points, I will use some Skeleton Horde contrast paint, which is a really light bone color, that gives off the effect of what we want. Here you see me clean my brush, because it was still a bit too much Snakebite Leather in my brush, and it was blending in with the wet parts of the Snakebite Leather, and that's something we do not want for these parts. These parts, yeah, you actually want to paint them when the rest is already dried, because otherwise you get too dark too much darkness in there. You see me here touching up some points as well, and also twisting and turning, looking at the underside of the model. Yeah, and some parts that I forgot to paint, I just touched up with some skeleton horde. Well, to finish up, I didn't really like the dark color of the ropes because I thought it was too dark and too much the same color as the wood. So I used some Carrick stone, which is really light color, and just applied some stripes, sort of where the ropes were. Don't worry about not hitting the ropes exactly spot on. It's a terrain piece, guys. It's not a hero model or anything, so keep that in mind. And what you can clearly see here, that this was a time-consuming part. So if you don't want to paint up all the bindings and the ropes, be free to not do that, because it was really time-consuming. Yeah, once you've started, there's no way back because you've already applied the paint. And now, at this point, I also thought that it was way too light, because I didn't realize there was so much rope around these stakes. I just did not completely like it, so we're gonna tone down the light color of the ropes a bit and also gives them a bit more definition by washing them with Seraphim Sepia or Sepia wash. This creates a bit more worn look on the ropes, because I thought they were looking way too fresh over there, especially with the weathered parts near the earth. It was too white and too pale. I'm actually really proud of this terrain piece, because it was a really easy way to paint it up. But in my opinion, this is the easiest, but also one of the more effective ways to paint the model. And I'm not sure if there are any ways to paint this model better without spending hours and hours and hours on every highlight and detail. I think this actually surprised me as well. So this is the result from all sides, and as you can clearly see, the saturation of the dark wildwood on the bottom parts is really doing its job. So put on some flock in whatever season you like, and that's how you paint it up. Please consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you for our patrons, and yeah, thanks for all the support, guys. See you next time.